Hi guys, welcome back to episode 5 of the podcast. In today's podcast, we're going to be recapping the UEFA Nations League Group A. There were some really interesting results in this group, and there were also some really interesting storylines. To begin, we're going to talk about the Germany and Spain game, which finished 1-1. Ethan, what were your thoughts on this game?
It's nice to see Timo Werner still in form as he's about to join Chelsea, start this new Prem season. Uh, David De Gea looked really good for between the sticks for Spain.
He was really sharp, had some really good saves.
Yeah, it's just really with him looking as sharp as he is, it's going to be really interesting to see the goalkeeper situation at Man U this year. In the Prem, with Dean Henderson now behind him, and could maybe step in front of him if he doesn't perform well this year in the league.
If De Gea keeps up that form, he'll be the number one for sure. He made some grade A saves, looked calm, composed. He really kept Spain in the game, in my opinion.
For sure. Especially when the only goal you score comes in the 96th minute. That's when you know that That's when you know you've been hanging on your goalkeeper for the earlier part of the game, and then you finally get your opportunity, and you make it count.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Jose Gaya tied the game in the 96th minute for Spain. But like Ethan was saying, if it wasn't for De Gea, this game would have been long over. He was the player of the match for me for sure. But talking about goalkeepers, were you surprised that Ter Stegen and Neuer didn't get called up for Germany?
Yeah, no, it didn't really make much sense to me, but I guess they're trying to work younger. I guess I don't. I mean, I kind of get the whole don't call up the Neuer thing. I kind of get that in a way, but not the Ter
Yeah, me too.
Stegen move.
Ter Stegen's arguably a top 3 goalie right now. I don't know why they didn't call him up. I know the UEFA Nations League isn't taken that seriously by European teams, but it still would have been nice to see your number 1 goalie at work, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just funny seeing Trapp out there still. He's been a big part for
I haven't
a
seen
while,
him.
but
I haven't seen him play for a while, but it was really surprising seeing him. But he didn't do too bad himself.
yeah, no, he played decent in that one.
Also, Ansu Fati made his Spanish debut at the age of 17. This kid's going to be a superstar. What are your thoughts
Really
on him?
excited to see what he can do. For the what he can do for his country, and also what he could do in the future for Barcelona, seeing what they're going through, and hopefully he can be a nice little saving grace for them. Hopefully for their future.
Yeah, he has superstar material written all over him. I'm really excited to see him go to work.
Super fun.
He's
player
so
to
direct.
Watch. Super fun to
He's
watch.
so direct. He can score goals, dribble, pass. He just needs to keep his ego in check, and he'll be a superstar.
Yeah.
And also, for Germany, Carrera was playing right back again. I feel like this is a common theme on this show. What are your thoughts on
I
that?
still don't know why he keeps playing there. I mean, he did it for PSG. He looked exposed the whole game against Bayern, and then you go up with a team as good as Spain, and you're still gonna put him in that kind of position to leave your team exposed. I don't understand why he keeps playing at right back. Maybe they know something we don't know, but watching,
Yeah.
still mind boggles me.
Yeah, he's not that good going forward, like the present day right back should be. So I don't understand it. I feel like if you slot him at right center back, he'll have the same quality, the same traits, but he'll be in a more comfortable position. And you can have someone at right wing back be more attacking. But I guess the German national team and PSG don't think that way.
Yeah, he's a much better center back than he is a right back at all. Without a doubt, it's not even close.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go into the second game though. Ukraine beat Switzerland by a score of 2-1. Yarmolenko scored in the 14th minute. Seferovic tied in the 41st minute for Switzerland, and then Zinchenko won in the 68th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
Great game for Zinchenko. He
Yeah.
looked really, really well in that midfield. Controlled the game. Great passing. Great everything. Able to get by people. Able to hold up play and do whatever he needed. He just looked really great out there. The fullbacks for Ukraine as well. Ukraine looks like they could be a sleeper team in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like they could do something that people don't really expect them to do. But yeah, it sucks. But they're they're not that popular country when you think of soccer. But I think they can surprise some people this year, especially if they play like they did against Switzerland.
How would you answer this question then? Is Ukraine on the rise or is Switzerland just overrated based on this result?
that that is a tough one. Switzerland has the possession, but I feel like that's gonna happen from a better, a more quality side that's also has a better manager and is managed better, which that's what you get from
Yeah.
Switzerland. But I feel like Ukraine took their chances, but they created more chances than Switzerland, had more shots on goal than Switzerland. They just couldn't control the midfield as much, but once they got it into the attacking half, that's when they excelled.
One more thing on this game. Were you surprised that Zinchenko was playing at the center attacking mid position compared to his usual fullback position he plays with Man City?
Yeah, it was really interesting to see him lined up there, but he was doing bits for his country. He played great that game. Um, I think it shows that he can offer that attacking style of play when it comes to the Prem this season.
Yeah, I agree. I think this gives Pep Guardiola even more options going forward. Now he can play Zinchenko as a backup fullback, backup cam, backup center mid. He'll use him as a Swiss Army knife, I think,
Yeah,
based off Zinchenko's international
that's why I
performances.
love these international breaks and stuff in these tournaments, but that are going on because these managers get to see their players being used in a different way than what they would use them, and it gives them more insight on I could play him more attacking, or
Yeah,
I could have him attack more than just sit back and play wing back. A lot
yeah,
more
I totally
options you can
agree.
get out of players when you see them play for their country.
Yeah, for sure. But now let's move on to Italy versus Bosnia. It was 1-1. Dzeko scored in the 57th minute and Sensi scored in the 67th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
You know, uh, Italy has kind of been on the fall, international wise. Haven't really been impressed with me that much. They still can hold possession because they're an Italian team, and they're obviously have more skill and quality than Bosnia.
Yeah,
I just don't think they use their skill to what they can do it for. Like they take a lot of stupid shots. Like
they
they
do.
put a lot of like they take shots that they could easily pass another couple times and get a better shot. They put way too many shots off target, and that's what Bosnia did. They put all their shots on target, and you can't say there's no such thing as a bad shot on target. It's way better than putting something 15 feet wide of the post.
Yeah.
It's just it's just another case of Italy looking good on paper, but once again, just can't perform in game to what
Well, this is
they
where
should.
I disagree with you here a little bit. I think this Italian team looks really bad on paper, to be honest with you. Other than like Donnarumma, Bonucci, and Jorginho, the other guys are a little less known around the world. And I was kind of surprised by that because Italy usually has like a Pirlo, Balotelli, someone of huge stature, but this generation, there's really no people who scare you on paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do get that. They're obviously not as strong as they have been in the past,
Yeah,
which makes me realize if they're actually taking it as seriously as they can. Like it doesn't look like they're really putting much out there or they're really trying to give themselves that much of a chance to succeed in international play.
yeah. Also, there was an interesting storyline coming out of this game. The manager of Italy, Roberto Mancini, he forgot to start Chiellini. Chiellini was supposed to be in the starting 11, and then the assistant coach wrote the lineup card and gave it to Mancini, but he didn't have his glasses on, and he didn't realize that the assistant coach forgot to put Chiellini. What are your thoughts on that whole mess?
Yeah, that's that just shows, it's kind of it just doesn't seem like they're putting their time into the team. Like if you can read something wrong, it means you obviously don't care that much.
Yeah,
Like that doesn't. But like the people you have on the bench, like this bench for Italy isn't that bad. You have Immobile on the bench, which why is Immobile on the bench? Beats me. You got Moise Kean on the bench. You got a Zaniolo on the bench. You have some up and coming
yeah,
young guys on the bench. I think they just got to get more of that chemistry together, which I don't know why they wouldn't have that. But I guess having young players it makes it hard to get that chemistry sometimes. But I expect Italy to be good in a year or two. Not now. They're far from where they should be
yeah.
now, but
Right now,
they're definitely going to be a
I,
future.
I think they're gonna flop in Euro 21, to be honest with you, and then maybe in the World Cup they might make some noise, or the next Euros after that. But right now they're too young, and they also have some older guys there like Chiellini who need to be moved on from, but they don't have any young center backs yet to take those big footsteps
Yeah.
and go forward. But we'll see. Interesting will be an interesting story to watch throughout the next couple years. But let's move on to Netherlands versus Poland. Netherlands won this game by a score of 1-0 with Bergwijn scoring in the 61st minute. What were your thoughts on this?
I love watching the Netherlands play.
Yeah, they're really
They
entertaining.
got a good midfield with Wijnaldum and De Jong. They got three good people at forward that they put in that game in Bergwijn, Depay, and Promes. They looked. I I do think they're gonna make they're gonna make some noise this year. They got a great bench. They're pretty strong in the midfield too on the bench. They just don't really have that good attacking piece to come off the bench for them. But
I love,
that a lot of these teams, that you kind of need, because you have a
yeah,
Luke De Jong off the bench, but he's not like an X factor that's gonna do much off the bench for you.
yeah, I know what you mean. I love everything about Netherlands except their goalkeeper and their bench. I feel like Sillerson, he's okay, but he's not elite, and I feel like they do lack depth in attack, especially like you said. But they're really fun to watch. Their starting 11 is amazing. Their defense is really good. They have Donny van de Beek coming off the bench as a midfielder. That's a lot. That's like the only place to have depth. But like you said, their striking force. If one of those three guys gets hurt, they're short on options, and I don't know how that will work out.
hmm
But you think the Dutch will be serious contenders in Euro
I
21?
think they're definitely gonna get out their group easily with Italy, and I think Poland isn't too bad, honestly. Watching them play, they didn't look that bad. But I think Poland can give Italy a run for their money for that place behind the Dutch.
Do you think Poland's golden generation is running out of time? You think this is it for them? Euro 21 or bust?
Uh, yeah, but I don't think they're gonna come close to winning the Euros.
Yeah, it's unfair to expect them to win anything, but maybe semifinals, quarterfinals.
Yeah,
They have some talent on the team. They have Chesney,
we'll just have to
Lewandowski,
see
Grosicki.
how they continue to play. I am a big fan of Glick, though. I've always rated him as a center back.
Yeah, he's a good center
He's
back.
always been a wall back there, in my opinion. But yeah, I just need to see more. I just need to see more games from them, just to really see how they improve off of this loss.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's move on to England versus Iceland. England won by a score of 1-0 with a penalty kick in the 91st minute from Raheem Sterling. Also, Iceland missed a penalty kick in the 95th minute. What were your thoughts on this boring game?
Yeah, that's the perfect way to explain it. Really boring, really lackluster from England. I thought England was gonna come out. I thought it was gonna be a 3-1, 2-1 win for England, but they really couldn't get much going on. Um, but as as you could see, they dominated in possession. That's what's gonna happen when you're a superior team. But
Yeah,
what do you make off of that possession is what really matters. And they didn't really do much on the attacking part, which was kind of sucked to see. But maybe I've always thought England was always a little overrated in what they were or than what they are.
yeah,
But it's nice to be able to see Jadon Sancho out there again playing. Performed
yeah, for sure.
he looked pretty well against that Iceland team. They just need to get better service up front and just get the ball on target more and get more clear cut chances going for him.
When I was watching that game, I felt like England was kind of scared to attack. They took like a very defense first strategy. There's nothing wrong with that, but then they never got outside that shell. Like they were just in their comfort zone, just playing long balls. They didn't really string any attacks. They didn't give their front three any chances to score goals other than the penalty.
hmm
It was just really boring to watch from a neutral standpoint. But there was one interesting storyline from this game. Mason Greenwood made his international debut at the age of 18. The kid has a future at his feet. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's great to see. It's great to see him make his debut. It's great to see that they're putting some faith in him after performing so well for Manchester this season. He really deserved to make his debut now. And I think, you know, it's only up from here for Mason. He's a
Yeah,
great
for sure.
player. He's young. He looked great up front. He came in and they won a penalty after he came in. So
Yeah. Even Harry Kane praised him. He was like, the kid has a left foot, right foot. Harry Kane said that Mason Greenwood is way better right now than what Harry Kane was at 18, which I think is like a huge praise from Harry Kane's part.
yeah, but everyone knows his class. It's just the people that don't like Manchester are always going to be like, no, he's overhyped, overrated, like they say about every Manchester youngster that comes out.
Yeah. Well, now let's talk about some other Red Devils. Belgium. They beat Denmark by a score of 2-0 with Denier scoring in the 9th minute and Mertens scoring in the 76th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
I love watching Belgium play as well, just like the Dutch. They're really fun to watch. Um, they got a nice team. They're strong. They got some depth too up there, and don't overlook this Denmark team. They got some players too. That midfield, they got a solid
Denmark
midfield.
has a solid
They got
team.
a solid team too. So you can't look over Denmark in this at all. But I just think Belgium was too much, But they were playing that 3-4-3 with Denier in the back and Alderweireld and Vertonghen. That's a really strong back line, really tall, really strong. Just class players in the back. I think,
I have a question for you, real quick.
huh?
Does that defense scare you in some way, though? Because it does lack a lot of pace.
It does.
Vertonghen and Alderweireld are getting older.
It does lack a lot of. It does, but which means you're gonna need a lot of help from Witzel in that midfield. You're gonna need one of these four midfielders to drop back and play some defense. Because
Yeah.
because the yeah, but they do lack the pace. Which when your center backs lack the pace, you need a midfielder to come in and help clean up for that pace and get those interceptions early on before it gets to them, so then they can catch the breather while you're on the attack.
I feel like the wingbacks are also crucial, too. Especially with teams who play 4-3-3 against them, the wingers are going to have a lot of space, so the wingbacks got to drop and cover those pacey players, too. Do you think Euro 21 is the last chance for Belgium, or do you think they still got the World Cup and more things to look forward to? Because this is Belgium's golden generation.
They don't have the strongest bench, Belgium. Like, like the when they have to make a sub, they're not really bringing anything of value more than what was already out there. I think, I think they're gonna do well in these Euros this year, or in 2021. I mean, I think they're gonna do well. I think depending on how well they do this year will correlate to what they do in the World Cup. But
Yeah,
I think they're gonna do better in the Euros than in the World Cup.
I agree with
I
that.
just I just don't see it happening for much longer.
I think other than France, Belgium has to be seen as serious favorites for Euro 21. They're way too strong to not win a piece of silverware with this team. Like they dominated during this international break without Hazard. Once you insert Hazard to that lineup, the team gets even better.
Yeah, it just
They have no excuses.
yeah no, but they need to get. I'm saying for them, I'm saying the quarterfinals has to be the minimum this year for them in the Euros.
I think semis is minimum.
Oh, for really the semis.
Yeah,
No, I could easily see them in the semis. I think they should get to the semis. I don't see them getting to the finals. I don't think they should, but I think they should get to the semis and then put up a solid performance in the semis.
I think as long as they avoid France, they might make it to the finals. And then lose to France in the finals if France makes the finals.
It'd be really nice to see Belgium in the final. It'd be really
Yeah.
nice. Class side.
Talking about finals, let's talk about the last team to win the Euros, Portugal. They beat Croatia by a score of 4-1. Cancelo scored in the 41st minute and Jota in the 58th, then Felix in the 70th, and then Petkovic from Croatia pulled one back in the 91st, and then Andre Silva ended it in the 95th minute. Is this Portugal team legit?
I think they're legit. I think they're gonna go on a good run. They made Croatia look really bad.
They
like
did.
really bad.
All without Ronaldo too.
Yeah, I was not expecting the result that we got in that Portugal game. Really solid game. Portugal looks legit. They look elite. They look one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world from what we've seen so far play wise.
I think this Portugal team is better than the team that won the Euros.
Really?
They're stronger in every aspect, I think. I think in the Euros, last time they got really lucky. They won the Euros by only getting 3 points in their group. And I feel like in the knockout stages, they got really lucky, pulled some good results together.
Yeah.
But I feel like this time they're solid. They have a solid midfield. Bruno Fernandes is in the squad now to create for them.
He was looking amazing.
João Felix is in the squad now.
Yeah.
Gonçalo Guedes. Ronaldo's still as good. They got more depth.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like everything's better now for them.
It's really nice to see João Felix, start now. Like it's nice to see these countries start and play their young guys a lot. which,
Yeah,
you know, because they are the future, and it's nice to be able to see. It's nice to be able to turn on Portugal and see a refreshing face like João Felix play up front. Just it just makes you want to watch this team.
yeah, for sure. Now moving on to Croatia for a little bit. Do you think their time has run out, or do you think they're still a threat for Euro 21?
I don't think of them as a threat really anymore. I think they just went on that run. They just, you know, I feel like they have good chemistry. They just don't have all of the talent that I think you need to win
I
the
agree.
Euros. But they're a decent side. I think they should get through in their group. Hopefully, I'm thinking they should. But um, yeah, I don't see them as a threat anymore.
I think a lot of their solid players have aged. Modric, Rakitic, Mandzukic, Lovren, they're all getting older, and I feel like with all the domestic soccer they're playing, it's going to be too much for their legs to be like serious threats for this. And I feel like quarterfinals is where we'll see Croatia get knocked out.
Yeah, if they'll even get to the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
Being honest here.
I'm thinking their experience might help them get to the quarterfinals, but after that, once they run into a really talented team, they're done for.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's move on to Sweden versus France. This game was kind of boring too, but France won by a score 1-0 with an Mbappe solo goal in the 41st minute. Griezmann ended up missing the PK in the 95th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
You know, France is looking good. I think you
Yeah,
know they didn't look the best against Sweden, but Sweden isn't a team to mess with. You know, all the time. They got some they got some quality players in their side, but
they're fundamentally solid.
yeah,
It's hard to break them
yeah,
down.
they're really good at passing in that midfield. They're really solid there. They're physical with you. They're gonna foul you. Gonna have to take it. But I think their defense leaves them out to dry sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't think Lindelof is the best back there for him, but you know who else are you gonna put over Lindelof? Not really.
they really have no options.
But yeah, France is another threat too. Hopefully they play better in their next game, which is really going to be interesting to see. Which they're really going to need to play better next game if they're going to want to be labeled as a high end threat
Yeah.
in the Euros. But based on what they can do and what they have on their side, they're a threat. I think in these Euros.
Were you surprised that Laporte to Pavard didn't get called up?
Yeah, I'm. You know, especially Pavard. You know, he played amazing in that last World Cup. He's done amazing for them. I don't. That just kind of mind boggles me. You take one of the best defenders in the Prem last year in Laporte and don't call him up.
That's crazy to me. It's blasphemy.
I guess they're trying to work young. It worked in this
I
game.
mean, he's not that old either,
yeah,
though.
I know.
He's so, like one of the best center backs in the world. They should have him build his relationship with Iran, because if they build a good relationship and play together next year, that might be the best center back duo in the Euros.
Yeah, it's so easy to put anyone next to Varane because Varane is class.
Yeah, he really
and it's
is.
easy to put a Kimpembe and Upamecano, which they're both getting there. They're getting there. Not there yet.
Do you think their time is now, though?
Well,
Or do you think it's too early for
they're
them?
good enough to be in this squad and play. I just don't think they both need to be out there at the same time, especially when you have a Laporte and a Pavard in your reserves that
Yeah.
you don't call up. But they're going to be part of their future for so long.
Yeah, for sure. I think if anyone, Upamecano deserves a chance right now more than Kimpembe.
Yeah. I think they just I think they brought up Kimpembe and played him more for like the fan aspect, more for like the interest, you know, because people
Maybe.
people want to see Kimpembe play probably more than Longley. Like I would rather see a young center back play than Longley at this moment,
Yeah.
even if he isn't at the same level as Longley.
Yeah, I can see that. But now, like I said earlier, Griezmann missed a penalty. Griezmann's horrible year end. For Barcelona, he had a horrible time playing left wing or right wing. He didn't play down the middle. And now, even with France, he's missing penalties.
Yeah.
The year just needs to end for him. He needs a restart.
Yeah, he needs a restart. I think everything's going to be great for him at Barcelona this year. I think things are going to be way better. He's going to be playing up front for them now. gonna have Messi on the wing. Hopefully, Messi still plays as hard as he can.
Yeah.
And I think Griezmann will improve for the Euros. I think he'll be back in form. He'll be back with his shooting boots on. He'll have everything going for him once the league for Barca starts and he gets more comfortable playing that role and gets more football under him, playing in the
I really hope so.
position he should be playing.
I hope so, because he's a really fun player to watch. His link-up play is amazing. His left foot's amazing. It kind of hurts seeing him play this bad, because I know what he's capable of.
Yeah, he's capable of so much more than what he does for France.
Yeah. But two more things on this France-Sweden game. Martial back in the squad after 2 years, and Camavinga gets his first senior call-up for the French squad. What are your thoughts on those two players?
I love that Camavinga call-up. He's also their future. Super young. Young guy. He's going to be there for years. He's the future of that France midfield. Some say, he's the next Pogba, which I can see that. But that's kind of putting a lot of pressure on a young guy.
Yeah, they should just let the kid play.
Yeah. But I would just let him play. He's been playing great. He's been doing fine. He got called up for a reason because he's been showing out in the league and showing out pretty much in every type of way. He's a great midfielder, good body. He's got it all.
Yeah, he really does. But guys, that was all for the first round games. Now we're going to move on to the second round of games with Spain beating Ukraine 4-0, with Sergio Ramos scoring 2 goals, one in the 3rd and one in the 29th minute, Ansu Fati scoring a goal in the 32nd minute, and Fernan Torres scoring a goal in the 84th minute. What were your thoughts on this game, Ethan?
Another good game for De Gea. Only had to make 2 saves this game, but playing against a team like Ukraine, you're not going to expect your goalie to have to do that much work. You get Ramos. Ramos is looking as good as he has. Great scoring defender. Really knows how to put the ball in the net any type of way.
He's been amazing this year.
Yeah, he's been amazing. Even Deregulon, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but
yeah,
he's even been doing great for Spain. It'd be great to see him be the left back for De Gea at Manchester. Maybe.
At Man United.
Yeah, there's rumors going around.
That'll be nice.
It was great to see Ansu Fati score. Just
17-year-old goal scorer for his country.
Just really,
that's amazing.
Really showing everybody why he's up next.
Yeah, he has next and now.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna play so much for Barca this year.
Oh yeah, he's gonna put in time for Barca. He's gonna do great for them in the league.
Do you think the Spanish team is for real though, or do you think they'll choke in the major stage like they have been recently?
I would like to see that. I would like to say they're for real, but being Spain, it's hard to say it. But, they do have a decent bench. I think they have a good enough bench. They have good enough depth. I feel like they could make a run. They just can't choke like they have been. They just can't.
The thing with Spain, I think they should stick with lineups like this, where they play an Ansu Fati, where they play a Fernan Torres, instead of just playing the overhyped guys.
Yeah.
They should let these young guys mix in with the older guys and build some chemistry, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that'll be the key for them.
Yeah, I'm glad they chose to start Fati. Great.
Yeah, that was a great call.
Great move by them and a great game to start him in.
Yeah. But now let's move on to Switzerland versus Germany. This game ended in a draw 1-1 with Ilkay Gundogan scoring in the 14th minute and Widmer from Switzerland tying the game in the 58th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
This is the game that makes you kind of worried about Germany.
Yeah.
Their defense, they were getting peppered with shots there in this game. They didn't look that great in the back. Ginter did have an assist, but they didn't look too promising in the back. But their midfield's looking good. We still got Kerr playing that right wing back spot.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
That's so crazy to me. We got Rudiger actually started this game. I actually played pretty decently back there for them. And, this game doesn't really get me hyped about Germany at all.
It really doesn't. I was really shocked that Julian Draxler was playing striker when they had Werner. Werner was playing off the left and Sané off the right. You have Thomas Werner, one of the best strikers in the world. Why don't you play him as striker?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what this Germany team is trying to do, but I feel like they're doing things, that are prohibiting them from being what they can be.
Yeah.
Because, but they got the players on paper, But Leroy Sané, great. He's a great player. Tony Cruz, he can still play that middle field. There's and they got a Gundogan. But they got good midfielders. They just can't put it together, which I'm not really looking forward to them in the Euros. I don't think they're going to do much of anything.
I feel like they're exploring too much with their lineups. They should just stick with the basics, play their players where they're good at, instead of trying to play a 3-4-3 and have their players out of position. Like, this isn't the time to play players out of positions. Who knows when the next international break will be? You guys need to get ready for the Euros right now. Get chemistry while you can.
Yeah.
I don't understand
exactly, but not too impressed.
Yeah. Now let's go to Bosnia versus Poland. Poland won this game by a score of 2-1. Hajradinovic scored for Bosnia in the 24th minute from a penalty. Glick equalized in the 45th minute, and Grasiski won the game for Poland in the 67th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
This is a good game for Poland. This is the game that shows you that you shouldn't overlook Poland, and that they can create chances. They can create numerous chances, but they look great on ball. Everything, their midfield look great. Zielinski out there at Cam, not looking the best, but and there's Glick, looked amazing.
Yeah.
I expect Poland to make a little bit of noise. I think they're going to make a little bit of noise. I feel like they could be a sleeper this year, just like Croatia was that one year. I think Poland is going to be my sleeper team. If I'm going to pick a sleeper team, it's going to be Poland.
I like this game because it showed Poland's resilience to come back. I was watching the game, and Bosnia's pitch didn't really look that nice. It looked really hard to play on. Looked like it wasn't taken care of well.
Yeah.
And Poland fought back, won the game, and after they scored the second goal to take the lead, they looked really sound defensively. And like you were talking about Glick earlier, he really holds that back line really good for them.
Yeah. Poland's looking good.
Now let's move on. Yeah, they are. Let's move on to Netherlands versus Italy. Italy surprisingly won this game by a score of 1-0, with Barella scoring in the 45th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
See, this is how Italy needs to play. They looked way better in this game. They looked more confident on the ball. They looked better passing in the midfield, everything. They just looked all around better in this game. This is what you need to expect from a team of their quality, They got the players.
Yeah.
I feel like they're beginning to gel a little bit more. They're starting to look better. This is the game they need, and they need to take this game as momentum to push them forward and only play better. It's nice to see that they played Immobile up front. He got an assist. He looked pretty well. I love Immobile. He needs to be starting up front for this team game in and game out.
He's one of the most underrated strikers in the world, in my opinion.
He's one of the best strikers in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm kind of impressed with Italy. I think with the amount of ego-less players they have on the team, it'll work better for them. Because I feel like in the last couple of years, Italy's egos, Balotelli comes up in mind. He's been taking the attention away from their football and just putting it on him.
Yeah.
But now there's not really any players like that. They're all here for one thing, and that's to play soccer and to perform. And I feel like this will help Italy in the long run.
Yeah, but this game, hopefully they use this game as momentum forward and just keep playing as they can, and they get better in training, and they just gel better, which I would love to see Italy play better than what they have been. I just want to see them get out of their group, so maybe they can try to make a run and maybe try to make something happen and make it interesting. That's all I'm looking for from them.
Yeah, right now Italy's a sleeping giant. It'll be really fun to see them wake up and cause competition for Belgium, France, England, Spain, and all these other big teams in Europe.
Yeah.
And now, talking about Belgium, they beat Iceland by a score of 5-1. Iceland opened up the scoring in the 11th minute from Johnson, I think. And then Witzel tied it in the 13th minute. Batshuayi scored in the 17th minute. Mertens in the 50th. Batshuayi again in the 69th. And then Doku in the 80th. What were your thoughts on this game?
This kind of performance from Belgium really shows you how or why they are a threat in the Euros this year.
Yeah.
It's ever since that 13th minute goal by Witzel, they never let the game get away from them. They got behind, they got mad, they created a yellow card, and Witzel got the chance, and he put it away, and then they put the game away from there. It really
Yeah, Witzel gave them the momentum, and then they just capitalized
yeah,
on it.
to really showed what they can do when they get momentum, and it
Yeah,
really kind of exposes Iceland because they didn't look like they were in this game at all. Besides the first 11 minutes.
they really didn't. This brings me to a question, like, how is Iceland considered a Group A team?
Yeah, it is a little mind-boggling. I feel like the only reason they could be in that Group A discussion is because of what they've done in the past in international. Like they've scored a lot of goals in the past. They've upset teams in the past. They've gotten through in the past, but I I feel like they're way overhyped. They're not even close to what these other teams in Group A are capable of at all.
I feel like they were a one tournament wonder, honestly.
Yeah,
Ever since that Euro,
that's what it's
they've been
coming out as.
struggling. Yeah. Do you think Belgium can perform like this consistently versus the bigger teams such as France, Spain, Germany, England?
I feel like them playing a 3-back and the defenders they do play in the back, they're going to get exposed by teams like Spain, by teams like France that have pace up front.
Imagine Mbappe running through there.
Yeah, I feel like Belgium is good. I don't want people to take this game and make Belgium seem like one of the most elite teams in the world because they win 5-1 against Iceland. Everyone's got to remember it's against Iceland, right?
They don't deserve to be there in the first place.
Yeah, it's against Iceland. So, sure, Belgium look good, but that's what you expect. You expect them to look good. Did I expect them to look better than what they did against Iceland? No, I did not. But they showed up. They showed out. Don't take this game out of context. It's a good result. But I don't think their back line can hold a team like France or Spain. I just don't think they're capable of doing it.
I don't think so either. I agree with you 100% with what you're saying there. Now let's move on to Denmark versus England. This was a boring game, 0-0. But the story isn't about the football here. It's about Mason Greenwood and Phil Foden getting kicked out of the squad for bringing girls into their hotel rooms and breaching COVID guidelines. What are your thoughts on this whole mess?
It's just another example of young players being dumb. They get in the limelight, they get called up, they get all this attention, and then I feel like it went to their head a little bit. They didn't feel like they needed to listen to the team. They didn't need to listen to what their country or the rules that they set out for them. And ultimately, it's just going to be looked at as them being young and naive and putting people at risk in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's just a dumb move by them. Thank God they're young and it's their first call-up, so I hope it doesn't hurt them too much. I still want them to be a part of the team for the Euros going forward, but they do need to be penalized for their actions, and we'll see what Southgate is going to do about that.
Yeah, for now they just got kicked out and Southgate said he's going to try to mentor them to be more mature. But they both got to realize who they are, especially Mason Greenwood. He's a potential future of Man United. Everyone knows who he is. He can't be fucking around like this.
Yeah, no.
It's inexcusable.
You can't be tarnishing your age. I mean, you can't be tarnishing your name this young with something like this now part of your baggage. It's just a bad look for him going forward.
Also, social media, it's so easy to get exposed.
Yeah.
Those girls knew what they were doing. They just wanted the clout of exposing two great soccer players. And they did that, and now it's like a bump in the road for the two players. But hopefully they can move on and get better as people from here on out.
Yeah, and back to the game. England didn't look fresh at all. They didn't look like anything was clicking. Was really surprised that Denmark wasn't able to score. England was looking really dang, I can't think of the word, but they were looking really bad at the back. They're looking exposed. They weren't looking, but they're starting Calvin Phillips in the midfield. Calvin Phillips is a Leeds player, which makes you wonder, if he's capable of having that starting job at the moment. This game didn't really make it seem like he's ready to start in that midfield for England just yet.
If I was English, I would have been so disappointed today. Because on paper, the formation looked like a 4-3-3. But in game, it looked like a 5-2-3 with two CDMs.
Yeah.
So Kane, Sterling, and Sancho were isolated the whole game. Nothing was getting to them. The midfield lacked creativity. I feel like this game was screaming for Jack Grealish to start, but he wasn't given the
And that's what
chance.
happens to when you play a Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice at the same time. You're not going to get that
Yeah.
much creativity on the offensive end of the ball.
If you're going five in the back, you don't. There's no need for two
Yeah,
CDMs,
there's no need.
especially when you have the talent England has.
Yeah,
You gotta trust. You gotta have the balls to attack that game.
and you have Alexander-Arnold at the right, who he's up and down the pitch all game. I rave him.
Yeah.
He's amazing. When you got a player like him who can cover for any one of these defenders in the back, like easily for any of them, you don't need two holding midfielders. That does nothing for your attacking. Especially having people like Harry Kane and Sancho up front. If you're not able to get them service, you're not going to win games.
England lined up like they were about to play prime Brazil, not Denmark.
Yeah.
I feel like they respected Denmark way too much.
Yeah, they really thought that they were going to get pounded by them, and that's kind of what happened because of how they lined up.
Yeah.
It's all because of the formation they lined up in and their tactics they took into this game. England,
This draw has to be on Southgate.
I'm not sold on Southgate. I don't think he's a great manager of the game. Not a big fan of him. Let's see what they can do in the future, though. I don't expect them to make much noise, but I expect them to go a little ways.
Yeah, me too. But now, World Cup final rematch: France versus Croatia, and it was the same scoreline: France 4, Croatia 2. Lovren opened up the scoring in the 17th minute. Then Griezmann scored in the 43rd minute from a Martial assist. And then it looked like Martial scored in the 45th minute, but then it was later given an own goal because it hit the post and then it hit the goalkeeper in the back. And then Bracalo in the 55th minute got one back for Croatia. Then Upamecano took the lead again in the 65th minute, and then Giroud finished the game with a 77th minute PK. What were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, great performance from Anthony Martial. Up front, it's nice to see that he's getting some recognition from France now.
Him and Griezmann are great together.
Yeah, after having a great year at Man U this year, he's been really underrated for Manchester over the years, but he's been the backbone of that attack for them. And he really showed it this year that he's capable of leading that front line for his country. And with Griezmann as your cam or center forward, he's able to get them great service up front. He's able to score when he wants to, pass when he wants to. And then it also makes it easier on him when you got a person like fucking Conte behind you, who he can take on anyone in the world. And
Conte's a rock.
You don't have to be scared of having to backtrack on defense as much, being Griezmann and having a Conte behind you.
Yeah, the Conte-Griezmann connection is like amazing for France. Conte really allows them to impress their style. I know Pogba wasn't there now, but Pogba will be there. Him and Griezmann can go forward together and create, all because of how great Conte is behind the ball.
Yeah. This midfield for Croatia, though, did stand out in this game. They looked really good, but they just need to get more service up front and create a lot. They need to create more chances and more big chances up front. They only had one big chance created all game. And going up against a team like France, that's just not going to be enough.
Yeah. I wasn't really amazed with how France decided to line up, but I guess it worked, so I can't really complain about it too much. But I just don't like the 3-back look for France.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not a big fan of the 3-back for them either. But I feel like because I don't think Croatia is near as good as they have been, I feel like they could do it because, you got Upamecano. He's got pretty good pace for a pretty big center back. And then being able to put Nzonzi and Conte in your midfield, that really helps you defensively. So I think they could afford to do a 3-back while playing those two midfielders. It's just I really want to see what they do in the future with their formation.
Yeah, I really hope they don't go 3-back because if they play a better team like a Belgium, I can see them playing more like a 5-back and parking the bus, and I don't want to see that from France.
Yeah, and I think Martial showed why he needs to start as often as he can for France up front.
Yeah, he was amazing. Let's move on to the final game, though. Portugal beat Sweden by a score 2-0. Ronaldo scored in the 45th minute off a free kick in the 72nd minute. He bagged his 100th and 101st international career goal. Only makes him the second player to ever do this, alongside Ali Daei from Iran. This guy Ronaldo's amazing.
Yeah, no.
What do you have to say?
I I just got to give a clap for Ronaldo real quick. Big ups for him. Great career. Insane player. Insane international player, man. Just knows how to make it work on his Portuguese side, man. He's just
He really does.
really good. It's just so fun to watch him. It might even be more fun to watch him play international, but then it is for Real Madrid. Wait, no, I mean for Juve. Damn, so used to him being at Real Madrid now.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah,
I get stumped up on that too.
This midfield is great. Bruno is a stud. And you got
He
Pereira.
creates so much now.
Pereira
Yeah.
is really good at defense, in that midfield too. So he's that rock as well. It just Joao Felix, great service. He can pass. He can pass. And I think his passing is underrated. He knows how to find people. He has great vision. He has a great foot on him. This game from Portugal, I think, puts them on a lot more people's radar. If they weren't, it's not like they weren't on people's radar already. But this game, I feel like, really solidifies them as a really big threat. And Sweden, they're just not good enough. Sweden is just not good enough.
This Portuguese team, they have a good combination of experience, young guys, pace, skill, playmaking, stability. Like I said earlier, this team is way better than the Portuguese team that already won the Euros.
Yeah.
So I feel like you got to expect them to make some noise, because if they won the Euros 5 years ago, they got to win it. Or they got to have a chance to win it again, because they're more talented now by far.
Yeah, and this Portuguese side is insanely deep as well. You got Semedo off the bench. That's a great off the bench guy. You got a Jose Fonte off the bench. You got Guedes and Neves. But Neves is
Andre Silva.
Neves is a great midfielder. He'd walk into so many sides in Europe and play.
Yeah.
And it's just great to be able to have depth like that in your midfield, which you can't have enough midfield depth. You can never have enough
You
midfield
really can't.
depth, which is what Everton is showing us right now.
Yeah, if someone's out of form, you can replace them. If someone gets hurt, you can replace them without taking too much of a big hit. Depth is amazing, especially in soccer right now. It's so important, so crucial.
Yeah, another great game for Portugal is really, really solidifying them as a threat right there.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, guys, that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to stay tuned in the channel. We have a lot of good ideas coming out soon. The Prem's about to be back. More domestic leagues are about to be back.
Fantasy soccer coming up.
Yeah, fantasy soccer is coming up. We're going to make a league for you guys to join if you guys want. It'll be fun. Thank you guys for watching again. Stay safe. Peace.
Have a good one.